name is Jennifer, and this is my first Booktube video, so I'll get started with the questions. Why did you start this channel? I would like to read books to my nieces and nephews, and they are far away, so this is how I'm going to do it, and that's about it. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Well, I would hope that my style of reading out loud is unique. I don't think it's completely unique. Everyone can read out loud. People act. There are actors. But a lot of people like the way I read, so I guess that's about it for now. What are you most excited about for this new channel? Definitely I'm excited about getting my book reading out to my nieces and nephews. My children are a little bit grown up, so they don't really need me to read little kid books to them anymore. And I really love reading. I love little kids. I miss my nieces and nephews. I love them. And I would really love to read to them. So, next, why do you love reading? Well, I love reading because you can immerse yourself in a different story. You can pretend you're somebody else maybe for a while. When you really connect with the character of the book. Well, I also love it because my grandparents used to read to me all the time. Most especially my grandma, my dad's mom. She was the biggest reader to me in my life. And I don't think she read the same way that I read out loud to my children, but she just had this way of reading that just kept me engrossed, and I could have gone for hours every time she read a book to us. So, another reason why I really love reading. Let's see, what book or series got you into reading? Well, I think my first book my grandma sent me that I'm aware of, I mean, she read to me when I was a toddler, but the one that I received when I moved away, my first book, was Barney the Beagle. And actually, she sent me the second book. I don't know how many more books of Barney the Beagle there were. If anything, it's a series of 2. So the first one was just simply Barney the Beagle, and the second one, oh my goodness, I already forgot the title. That is really funny. But anyways, it was about, the second Barney the Beagle was about his boy, as he calls him, acquired another pet, a little tiny kitten. So Barney the Beagle was very jealous of that kitten through most of the book, almost caused the kitten's demise, then felt remorse when he saw how sad his boy was, ran after the truck that had the kitten, saved the day, and got a little more attention from his boy than he was getting when the cat first came. So, it's a very simple book, just a few words per page, simple sentences for little young readers, not little, but young readers, or new readers. So, my grandmother wrote inside it a nice long letter, just one page inside the book, letting me know that this was a book that I loved her reading to me when I was even younger than that time, and that time was about 4 to 5 years old. I'm not sure when she sent the book, but around that time frame. And so that book's pretty special to me. Another book that's very special to me that my grandmother read to me and my cousin Anna is 8 Cousins by Louisa May Alcott. And I had that original book she had for a very long time, and I forget what happened to it, but we found another one, equally as old, not any new print, and she read that one to me over and over, and still to this day, for some reason in my mind, I've blocked out the ending of that book, because I don't ever want to have it end. I want to just stay in that story. So the little girl, or the 12-year-old girl in that story, Rose, she's never coming to the end of that book for me. Even though I've read it to the end, and I don't know why, but I always forget the ending. So, and I've read it several times on my own. Let's see. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I'm afraid I don't have any favorite booktubers other than the May Cave. What would I ask Megan from the May Cave? Well, I suppose I would ask her what is her favorite book. I mean, I've watched her video, but I'm not going to remember everything. But I would say, well, that's about it. I'm not really sure what else I would ask. I think I need to watch more Booktube before I have questions. What challenges do you think starting a Booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Well, it's obvious. I'm saying too many times. I am pausing too many times to think. But of course it's because I'm answering questions and not just telling you what I think about a book or reading a book. When I'm reading or telling something I already know, I'm not going to be pausing. So I will for this video. I don't even want to edit it. I just want to put it on, let you see me for who I am, what I am, how I'm doing. So overcoming talking too much, overcoming the overcoming my own nervousness about being on YouTube. That's probably it for now. I'm sure I could come up with a lot more. When did you start reading? By myself? Probably somewhere between 3 and 5. Reading some words here and there. My grandmother read to me when I was a toddler and continued reading to me until we moved when I was 4 or 4 and a half. So, and then she sent me that Barney the Beagle book, number 2, knowing that I could read it by myself, or telling me that I already had read some of it by myself when I read it last with her. So, somewhere in there, 3 to 5, I guess. Let's see, where do you read? Anywhere. I don't want to tell you the one place a lot of people read that they're not supposed to read in, according to Seinfeld. Remember the scene with George at the bookstore. But I read on the couch, read in the bed, read in the car. I have books in the car for whenever we might get stalled somewhere, or, you know, maybe you're in traffic or whatever and the kids are in the car. So I have older books now, but I have books in the car for me, for the kids. Let's see, read at the park. I really have yet to really sit down and dig into a good book at the beach. Even though we go to the beach a lot, it's never really about just sitting there. And I have a really good friend named Lorene who loves to go to the beach, sit down, get all cozy in the sand, and read a book. And I loved hearing about how she would what her next book was going to be, and how she would just, you know, when she was next going to enjoy reading on the beach. And I finally did it once recently. I can't remember. I think it was this year. But I didn't really feel like reading by the time we got there. So that was kind of crazy. But I really would like to be on the beach in a warm, not hot day, but not super cold, not super windy. Just a nice, warm, relaxing day. And just sit there, cozy up, and read a book while I listen to the beautiful sounds of the ocean waves crashing up on the sand. Anyways, I could read anywhere. I don't need a special place. And the last question, now I only have 10 questions. I couldn't find the list that looks more exhaustive, and when I find that list, I'll answer those questions. So the last question I have is, what kind of books do you like to read? That's a good one. I'm kind of eclectic. It just depends. It's not always about the cover or the title. It could be what it reads in the back of the book. And then sometimes that's what puts me off, is the story, the little blurb. I don't really even read a page or give it any more thought. But sometimes I like to go to the back of the book, not the last page, but just somewhere in the middle of the end, and just pick a page and start reading, sometimes in the middle too. And if it just kind of sounds interesting, then I'll take it. But in the past, my favorite books to read were mysteries, especially murder mysteries. One of my aunts, Aunt Jana, she gave me, or maybe, well, her mom was the grandma that read to me all the time. But they gave me the books called Meg, I think just Meg. And she did a lot of murder mysteries and other mysteries, just like the Hardy Boys. So that, I think, was what got me into mysteries. And then when I was a teenager, I read a lot of Agatha Christie books. I really liked her books. And just any other mystery that sort of crops up and I happen to notice it, and it sparks my interest. But I also like to read, oh, there I go again. I like to read historical books, more historical non-fiction than fiction. But I have entertained a few historical fiction books. My daughter likes historical fiction. And so once in a while, I, take a look at what she has, and sometimes they spark my attention. Let's see. Of course, I like little kids' books. So I love to read. I used to read to my siblings when they were little. I've read to my daughters. I've read to other children in the classroom. But I like a lot of things. So maybe as we go along, you'll find out what more I like. So, well, anyway, so that's it for the 10 questions that I found. And I'm Jennifer. And I don't know if I said, but you probably already can tell by the top of the screen, but my Booktube channel is Once Upon an Inkling. And the reason why I chose that title, number one, it was not really my first choice. It didn't even come to me until the end of the day, or end of the afternoon, sort of. But I like it anyhow because, to me, an inkling is kind of like a little spark, a little inception of an idea that can promulgate into something that could make somebody successful. It could just be the idea that, hey, for example, I like to read, and you never know where this will take me. I love to make sure children know that they can be whatever they can be if they really want to be. I mean, not everybody's going to be a mathematician, and maybe you find out, well, math wasn't for me, but you thought you liked it. Maybe you found out drama wasn't for you. Maybe you found out art wasn't for you, and you eventually find something else. Maybe you like all of those things. Whatever it is, you can be something that makes you feel happy, makes you feel good, makes you feel successful, and fulfills your life. It doesn't have to be the same success as somebody else. It doesn't have to be someone else's definition of success. But I love books, love reading. So Once Upon, and then an inkling for maybe I could spark someone to do something they really want to do. So that's about it for now. Thank you. Oops. Thank you for viewing my Booktube channel and my very first video. Goodbye.